It was a Friday evening when I came home early and found my wife, Emma, in bed with another man. The shock paralyzed me as I stood in the doorway, watching them entwined in each other's arms. Their naked bodies glistened with sweat as they moved together in a passionate embrace. I recognized the man as our neighbor, Tom. He was a few years younger than me, tall and muscular, with a rugged handsomeness that seemed to captivate Emma. She moaned softly as he kissed his way down her body, his lips and tongue exploring every inch of her skin. I felt a mix of emotions coursing through me, anger, betrayal, and a strange sense of arousal. Despite everything, I couldn't tear my eyes away from the scene unfolding before me. It was like watching a train wreck in slow motion, horrifying yet impossible to look away from. Tom positioned himself between Emma's legs. He gripped her firm, but gently, causing her to cry out in pleasure. They started moving together rhythmically, their bodies molded as one. The sight stirred something primal within me. My anger and betrayal were momentarily forgotten as I watched them lost in their passion. It was like witnessing to animals mating, raw and instinctual. As they approached climax, their movements became more frantic and urgent. Emma's moans grew louder as she neared the edge of ecstasy while Tom grunted. Finally, they reached their peak together with guttural cries of release. Tom collapsed on top of Emma for a moment before rolling off to the side. For what felt like an eternity but was probably only a few seconds, there was silence in the room as they caught their breaths. Then Emma turned her head towards the doorway and locked eyes with me. Her expression went from bliss to horror as she realized I had been watching the entire time. Tom followed her gaze and his face turned white with shock. I should have been furious, ready to punch Tom in the face or throw Emma out of the house. But instead, I felt a strange sense of calm wash over me. Perhaps it was the fact that they had been caught and there were no more lies or secrets between us. I walked slowly into the room, my eyes never leaving Tom's face. He looked like a deer caught in headlights, unsure of what would happen next. I stood at the foot of the bed, towering over them both. My voice was calm and steady as I spoke. "Emma, look at me," I said, my gaze still fixed on Tom. She turned her head towards me, tears streaming down her face. There was so much she wanted to say, apologies, excuses, pleas for forgiveness, but I held up a hand to silence her. Without taking my eyes off Tom's terrified expression, I made my offer. "I'll forgive you," I said quietly, "but there's a price." Tom's eyes widened in surprise as he realized what I was suggesting. I continued speaking, my voice low and intense. "You're going to do this to my wife again," I said. "And this time ... I'm going to watch." There was a long pause as the weight of my words hung in the air. Finally, Tom nodded slowly, accepting his fate. Emma looked at me with a mixture of gratitude and guilt before nodding in agreement as well. It was a turning point in our relationship, a moment that would either break us apart or bring us closer than ever before. And despite everything that had happened, I chose to embrace it as an opportunity for growth and exploration.